Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, Tootsie Forever here, and what I am holding right here is the holy grail to friendship is magic. This right here, we were never supposed to see it. In fact, we're only seeing this now because back in 2017, there was a massive leak of information from Hasbro, and one of those leaks was the Holy Bible. Oh! Nope, not that Holy Bible, this Holy Bible. This is the Friendship is Magic Show Bible. What makes this cartoon Bible so great? Well, first you need to understand exactly what a show Bible is and why it's so important. A show Bible is a pitch document that you need to put together in order to convey exactly what your show is going to look and feel like. It's also to help the producers become familiar with the characters and story arcs when they are deciding whether or not to greenlight your show. With a live action show, everyone can imagine what it's going to look like, a bunch of people walking around in front of a camera. But with animation, it could be anything from a different style, story, and even characters. The hardest part is trying to convince the producers why they should greenlight your cartoon. This right here shows us the original vision that Wait. This doesn't feel right. Let's fix that. This right here shows us the original vision that Lauren Faust pitched for My Little Pony all the way back in 2009, 1 year before the show aired. What makes this so great is now we have a better understanding of what Lauren Faust wanted to do before she was drove off by Hasbro and turned the ponies into... teachers. So, the first thing we find out is that the show's original title was My Little Pony Adventures and not Friendship is Magic. The producers probably saw Friendship is Magic as a better fit to market the show to a wider audience, and if you look on the bottom it says confidential, as this was never meant to be seen. So, if I get sued, you know why. But what are the odds of Hasbro actually finding out this video? FBI, open up! Right on time. Now, let's dive in and see how our favorite candy-colored ponies changed from the development process to what we know today. Actually, not many of the characters went through a massive change. Most of their traits and personalities as Lauren Faust wrote them seem to have stayed intact with what was seen in the final product, remaining mostly consistent. Twilight Sparkle, or should I say Twilight Twinkle as that was her original name, sported a dark blue mane and tail with a light blue streak running down it. This version of Twilight was responsible and she always did the right thing. However, she comes off as a stick in the mud, really strict and very judgmental. Some of this can still be seen in the very first episode of the show. Same with Rarity. She came off as a whiny, snooty pony who wanted nothing more than to get out of Ponyville and live the high life in Philadelphia, aka Canterlot, so she wouldn't have to deal with the small-town pony folk who don't understand her creative vision. She hoped to one day leave the small town and move to the more exquisite city of Canterlot, and one day hope to become the fashion designer for Princess Celestia. Applejack was interesting, as she wanted to stick to doing things the old-fashioned pony way and had a complete disinterest when it came to anything involving magic, as she found it unnatural. She lives with her brother, Big Apple, her little sister, Appleseed, and their great-grandmother, Granny Smith. They all lived on their farm, Big Apple Orchards, now known as Sweet Apple Acres. They would harvest apples, not by bucking with their hooves as we see in the show, but instead by hitting the trees with their heads to make them fall, calling it apple bonking. That seems really stupid, and I kinda wish they went in that direction. Spike was going to be seen as a rare creature since no pony had ever seen a dragon before, so he would be treated as a spectacle or something to be feared. Since he lived with ponies, it slowed his process as he was going to discover more of his dragon abilities as time went on. Every so often, he would come across a new ability that he didn't know he had. By the end, he would have become an adult dragon like his brethrens. This idea was revisited in the episode Secret of My Excess, where Spike went through different changes the greedier he got. Oh, and he also walked on all fours like a dog.
stupid!
Princess Celestia was going to be Queen Celestia. She was rarely ever going to be seen, as they wanted to keep her an elusive character who very few ponies had the privilege to see or meet, and some didn't even know if she was real or not.
Now, I want to talk about some episodes that were changed and other episodes that never got made for whatever reason. However, some of their ideas would still be used in future episodes.
I want to bring up that in the episode Applebuck Season, where Applejack had to harvest all of Sweet Apple Acres on her own, it was established that she was being stubborn and refused help from her friends. However, the real reason was that Twilight was going to use her magic in order to make the process quicker, but Applejack was against the use of magic as it was unnatural and not the right way of doing it, and preferred to do it the old-fashioned way like they have been doing it for years. One episode pitched that didn't survive the cutting room floor was called Bring on the Thunder. Appleseed, aka Apple Bloom, had a new idea on how to obtain her cutie mark, and Rainbow Dash agreed to help her out. This happened to be on the same day the Blue Thunders, aka the Wonderbolts, would be performing in town. Rainbow Dash would neglect Appleseed while she spent her time trying to impress the Blue Thunders with a daredevil stunt who would often not be paying attention. When she finally got their attention, she noticed Appleseed was in danger, so Rainbow Dash gave up on her dreams of joining the acrobatic team in order to save the little filly, missing her big chance to become a Blue Thunder herself. One of the most well-known unused episode pitches was titled Fancy Meeting You, Dear. The main six would find a pony that had antlers who was raised by deer. The episode would have focused on them trying to convince this pony he was in fact a pony. Some similarities of this episode were used in Over a Barrel, as the deer were originally going to live in teepees and be like the Native Americans of the Northeast. The final episode, which didn't make it to our screens, was titled Nothing More to See. This episode was going to introduce the sea ponies. Yes, those sea ponies. The ponies would take a trip to the beach and, to their dismay, quickly notice most of the water was gone. Soon enough, they would stumble upon sea ponies who would inform them that a mean old kraken had been hoarding half of the water to himself. The ponies would have teamed up with the sea ponies in order to restore the ocean's water.
This idea already sounded way better than anything the My Little Pony movie gave us. Now, the last thing I want to bring up is their audience demographic, which, looking back at this now, is kind of funny.
Their target demographic was 3 to 11-year-old girls. They didn't alienate boys as they wanted it to be enjoyed by both genders, and I quote, "They won't admit it, but they'll watch it. When their sister is watching it, can act like it's dumb, and then they'll sit down and watch it. For the same reason moms will find My Little Pony interesting enough to happily share with their daughters. The compelling conflicts, the strong characterization, the silly humor, and most importantly for the boys, the adventure. The boys will watch it too. Really."
Wow. Just wow. They knew exactly how we were gonna react to watching this. They fucking knew that we were gonna eat up this pony shit.
And it worked flawlessly.
Damn it, Hasbro! You bastards! You knew that we would fall for this. No one can resist the temptation of candy-colored ponies.
Yes, it was all part of the plan. Millions of people develop an emotional connection to our characters against their own will. Then, we manipulate that to sell our cheaply manufactured toys. I mean, have you seen our toys? We can't even get the cutie marks right, but you morons will still buy them.
You better not fuck up Generation 5.
We know what we're doing. We create something people love, and slowly tear apart that something until it's a shell of what people once knew. Then, when the time is right, we reboot the whole thing and start the process anew. The worse G5 is, the more toys will sell from G4 and eventually G6. It's a never-ending cycle of money.
You know, it's kind of sad. Lauren Faust was always battling with Hasbro to make her show stand out and didn't want to just make a show to sell toys, but wanted to do something with it. This book is the last that remains of her original plans that we are never going to see. And looking back at this today, now knowing what Friendship is Magic has become, goes against everything what the creator wanted to do. Lauren Faust had a vision for a family adventure show. She wanted the show to go in one direction, but Hasbro had other ideas. The show will be as entertaining as ever, though perhaps in a slightly different way, which makes me wonder, did the show change for the better or for the worst after her departure?
I honestly can't tell you. I'll let you guys decide on that one. I'm Tootsie Forever, and thank you for watching.